Ciao everyone, this is Caplaz, and today we talk about science. The question of the day is, how many times did you ask yourself, do I really know how to listen to music? Well, I don't know the answer, and I'm not here to teach you anything, but there's something worth it to mention as it changed the way I experience music since then. And to talk about this, I will take in consideration a song that I know quite well, because I made it. Today's song is Quantum. The dictionary says quantum refers to the smallest amount or unit of something, especially energy. Well, it is a very abused word. Usually you just drop it in a sentence when there's someone who wants to know about science or a phenomena, and you just want to look intelligent, professional, and scientific. That's the way you drop the word quantum into the sentence. It is a very abused word. I'm not really a fan of that. But within this simple word, there's way more than something related to science fiction or cheap documentaries or stuff like that. It suggests an image of itself. Now I want you to think to the first thing that pops in your mind when you hear the word quantum. I am pretty sure you thought about something like this. Now we can finally talk about the way you can see the music or listen for an image. By just reading the title, you just start to listen to the music with this graphic idea in mind. You're not aware of it, but I'm pretty sure you just started with this idea of spheric, rounded shapes, silverish and bluish light all over the place. And this is just about the title. Which you normally just skip it, you just read it and just, that's the name of the song, and you skip it, but not your mind. The song starts and what you hear is this delicate melody which it repeats and spins from left to right, and it rotates around you, or better, it revolves. Everything in this tune is designed to orbitate, to revolve around the listener. And it's like basically the concept of this microparticles like electrons that revolves around the listener, which in this case is the nucleus of the atom. This is growing up in an organic way, almost like it wants to get out. So it becomes rhythmic, and you can feel it also with your body. And all the voices that are there becomes a little bit strange, like unhuman, like robotic. In this terms, shiny and metallic, silverish. By this moment, everything has its own mood, its own color, and you can tell it's quite a bluish, silverish song. It's not something which is like acid green or very reddish nuances, because it's sweet, it's soft and delicate, and it's kind of bluish. All the melodies are sparse, like in a non-place, and it's quite different. It's quite different from the way a pop song starts, which is very neat and understandable. This is like in a non-place, inside like a womb, or in other terms like a sphere. Then something just comes from outside to guide you. And it's a very familiar sound that everybody of us experienced at least once in their lifetime, and it's the sound of a guitar and drums, and you're familiar with that, so you are more pushed to listen for that new character. So in this this case guitars and drums, are essentially two characters that leads you away from your womb, and you just go outside, figuratively, and start to listen the same melody you start with, so you're familiar with yourself again. But there's so much more around you, and it's almost like you feel how big is the environment around you, like a tiny particle into the universe. And like you, many, 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 many others. Billions. The reiteration of the word billions and billions and billions like that, it's which happens a lot of times actually. It was also funny to me, but it's a change of perception that I wanted to use, like this trick to make you feel an acceleration, like the song is actually running somewhere, and you can distinguish a passage from a very static moment of the song to a state of movement. I had to admit that the idea of billions and billions and billions comes from two main references. One is this amazing video
There are 10 million particles in the universe that we can observe.
and the other one is this guy.
Billions and 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 billions.
Another trick that I used in this refrain is that the music passed from a 4/4, which 1, 2, 3, 4, into a 3/4. A piece with a time signature of 4/4 has 4 quarter note beats within a measure. A piece with a time signature of 3/4 has only 3 note beats within a measure. This also gives you the sensation of lacking one step, like you just crumbling further without even falling, like essentially the gravitational fall around a planet of an object, like a satellite. And also I think it pushes you toward the sensation, to an idea of an edge, something that it's coming towards you. Also, the third thing that it's worth it to mention about this refrain is that when you say the word billions, obviously is a number you cannot even imagine, even if you can write it. It's hard for our mind to comprehend how big it's literally a billion of something. And also this scientific perception quite sometimes happens to manage to remove you from the idea of self and to put you in a more collective state of mind, like all the particles around you, all the people around you. And that also, it's explaining a little bit the jokes and the funny way that I sang the portion of the song which says the elected, the chosen one, because it got me thinking about species and individuals that way, and how much self-important people are. Sometimes they think they are somebody. You're nobody, you're just a particle like we all are. But also that's why Carl Sagan,
The Earth is the only world known so far to harbor life. There is nowhere else, at least in the near future, to which our species can migrate. Visit, yes, settle, not yet. Like it or not, for the moment, the Earth is where we make our stand. The Earth is where we make our stand.
Mr. Carl Sagan, the physicist, lived in this tune. And it's almost like I wanted to dedicate a portion of this song to him after I read his book, one of his books, which inspired me so much, which is The Pale Blue Dot. an amazing piece of literature. As you can see, going deeper and deeper into the analysis of a song like this, you can talk about everything related to the idea that the song gives you. And not just because I wanted to give you the idea of those things creating this piece of song, it's also, I think, worth it to mention what has been my thoughts about that, and what got me inspired to write it in that way. It's brilliant because you talk about science, you talk about planets, you talk about Earth, particles, quantum theory, but it's just a song. That's for me why a song. It's containing way more than you expect. Also the book, The Pale Blue Dot, gives us the idea of an image, which is a pale blue dot, which matches perfectly with the idea of the song that you had when you started to listen to song. I thought it was worth it to mention this, as in my opinion this gives you a sense of complexion. The circle is complete now, and you can start from the beginning if you want. Talking a little bit of the sound of the guitars and the bass guitar in this tune is quite peculiar, because normally I wanted to choose the matching sound for the idea that I want you to form in your mind. For example, the bass guitar makes perfectly sense. It's rounded, it's heavy, it's metal, and that gives you the idea of this sci-fi surfaces that they are essentially clean and cold, like the bass guitar itself. In this case, the guitar doesn't really match the idea of cleanliness of the song itself and of the image that I want you to have. I choose this sound after many. I choose this because it was weird and it was dusty. That's the main reason why I choose this sound, because all the other ones, like very heavy metal sound that doesn't really fit this tune, it didn't make sense to me when I was writing the song at all. And I tried many more. I tried not to use the distortion. I tried not to give a sensation of heavy riff as well into the guitars, but in the end I choose this because it's almost like post-rocky Maffei sound, something you might want to find into this stoner genre. Not in this genre, but I thought it was really worthy to put in the song for two reasons. First, because it's dusty, very dusty for me, and the dust is microparticles as well, and I thought it was making sense. And the second reason is that it's organic, very organic, and it's a cool contrast for me between this man-made, this aseptic perception of sound and something very rusty, very dirty, very dusty again. I hope this video has been interesting for you guys, and I hope that it could be useful for all the people who wants to have a deeper insight of what you can find inside music. You might also want to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell and do whatever you want. Also, let me know in the comment which song you might want me to make an analysis for. See ya!